The morning air was sharp, the streets nearly empty, only a few cars rushing past. In the middle of that silence walked a boy no older than 10. His shirt was torn at the shoulder, his shoes uneven, but his eyes carried a weight far beyond his age. On his back, a thin strap held a plastic bag full of empty soda cans, clinking with every step. His name was Liam. He had learned early that the world gave nothing for free. While other children held books or toys, he carried cans and bottles, trading them for a few coins so he and his sick mother could survive another day. As he crossed an alley, he heard something faint, not the sound of bottles or passing cars. It was softer. A cry. Liam stopped. His grip tightened on the bag of cans. The cry came again, thin and desperate. He followed the sound, heart pounding, his steps cautious. Behind a dumpster, wrapped in a faded red cloth, lay a baby. Her tiny fist pushed at the air. Her face was pale, her cries weak but steady. Liam froze. For a moment, he thought it was a dream, or maybe a cruel trick. But then her eyes opened, dark and searching, locking onto his. He bent down. "Hey, it's okay. Don't cry." His voice trembled, but he lifted her carefully, clutching her to his chest. The warmth of her small body pressed against his cold hands. She quieted, her head resting against him as if she had been waiting for him. Liam looked around. No one was there. The alley was silent except for a distant bark of a dog and the rustle of wind. Whoever had left her was gone. He swallowed hard. "Where's your mom?" His voice cracked. The baby blinked as if she had no answer. Liam knew what hunger felt like. He knew what loneliness could do to a child, and now he saw it written in this baby's trembling hands. He pulled the cloth tighter around her and started walking again. His bag of cans swung on his back, but he no longer noticed the sound. Every thought was on the baby in his arms. He had no money for food. His mother was too weak to work. Their room in the shelter was barely enough for two. But leaving her in the alley was impossible. At the recycling center, the clerk frowned when he saw Liam carrying a baby. "Where'd you get her?" "She was alone," Liam answered simply. "Can I still trade these?" The man hesitated, then handed him a few coins. "Be careful, kid. That's not your problem to fix." But Liam already knew it was his problem now. He bought a small carton of milk and an old bottle from the corner store. The shopkeeper shook her head. "That baby needs a family, not scraps." Liam nodded, though deep down he felt the same. Still, he fed her as best he could, her tiny lips gripping the bottle, her eyes softening as she drank. For the first time in days, Liam smiled. Back at the shelter, his mother looked up from the bed, her face pale. "Liam, what have you done?" "She was crying in the street, Mom. I couldn't leave her." The woman stared at the child, then back at her son. There was fear in her eyes, but also something else. A quiet recognition that this moment would change everything. That night, as the city lights flickered outside their broken window, Liam lay awake. The baby slept beside him, wrapped in the red cloth. He whispered, "Don't worry. I'll take care of you." Somehow. He didn't know that far from the shelter. In a mansion glowing with gold light, a family was searching for the very same baby. Far from the shelter, inside a mansion with glass walls and marble floors, a man paced the length of a gilded hallway. His name was Victor Hale, one of the wealthiest men in the city. His voice cut through the silence as he spoke into the phone. "Find her. I don't care what it takes. My daughter must be found." His only child, barely 3 months old, had vanished hours earlier. The nanny had left her stroller outside the store for a moment, and when she returned, the baby was gone. Panic turned the mansion upside down. Detectives searched every street, every corner, but there was no trace. Victor's fists trembled as he ended the call. He had built empires from nothing, crushed rivals, and bought respect with money, but none of it mattered now. His daughter was missing, and with her, every ounce of meaning in his life. At that very hour, the baby slept in a shelter bed, her tiny hand resting against Liam's arm. He stayed awake, watching her chest rise and fall, afraid she might vanish if he looked away. His mother coughed in the corner, whispering, "Liam, you can't keep her. Someone will come looking." "I know," he said softly, "but until then, she's safe with me." The next morning, Liam took the baby with him as he collected cans. People stared, some in pity, some in suspicion. A boy carrying a baby was too strange, too heavy a picture for the world to accept. But Liam walked on, clutching her close, whispering to her whenever she stirred. At the recycling center, the same clerk frowned. "Still got her, huh? Kid, you can't play father. That's dangerous. She needs me," Liam said firmly. The man shook his head but said no more. Later that evening, as the sun sank and painted the city in burnt orange, Liam stopped at a small park. He sat on a bench, feeding her again with the same bottle. She looked up at him, her eyes wide, trusting. For a moment, he forgot the weight of poverty, the cold floor of the shelter, the hunger in his stomach. For a moment, he felt like he mattered, but across town, posters began to appear. The face of the baby, wrapped in a red cloth, stared from every corner. The words, "Missing Child, Daughter of Victor Hale," glared in bold letters. And while Liam held her close in the quiet park, a police car rolled slowly down the street, its headlights sweeping across the benches. The headlights swept across Liam's face. He stiffened, clutching the baby tighter. Her small body stirred but did not cry. He turned his back quickly, pretending to adjust the bottle, praying the officers would pass without noticing. The car slowed. For a moment, Liam felt the weight of their eyes. Then it rolled on, tires humming against the pavement until the sound faded into the distance. Only then did he breathe again. He whispered to the baby, "It's okay. I won't let anyone take you," but fear gnawed at him. He had seen the posters. He knew she belonged to someone rich, powerful. If they found her with him, no one would listen to his story. They would take her away without a second thought. And yet, the thought of letting her go crushed something inside him. At the shelter, his mother confronted him. "Liam, this isn't safe. If they find her here, they'll blame us. We can't fight people with money." "I'm not giving her up," he said firmly. "Not yet." His mother's eyes filled with sorrow. She reached for the baby, holding her close for the first time. "She's warm," she whispered. She doesn't know she's lost. The days passed quickly. Liam balanced his cans and the baby, taking her everywhere, guarding her like a secret. Strangers offered coins when they saw him feeding her, touched by the sight of a boy protecting a child. For the first time in his life, kindness reached him from the world outside, but the city grew restless. News stations broadcast the missing heiress every hour. Cameras flashed outside the mansion. Victor Hale appeared on every screen, his face stern, his voice breaking as he pleaded for her return. One evening, as Liam left the recycling center, he noticed a black car parked at the corner. Two men in suits stepped out, holding flyers. Their eyes scanned every passerby, sharp and searching. Liam pulled the baby closer, his heart pounding. He ducked into a narrow alley, pressing his back against the wall until the men moved on. When he reached the shelter, his mother sat by the window, the red cloth in her lap. She looked at him with tears in her eyes. "They will come, Liam, and when they do, you must be ready." He shook his head. "She's my family now." But outside, the storm was closing in. The world of power and wealth was circling closer with every passing hour, and soon, it would crash into the fragile world Liam had built. The storm arrived the next morning. The shelter door rattled under heavy knocks. Liam froze. His mother whispered, "It's them." He clutched the baby, heart hammering. She stirred, her tiny fingers gripping his shirt as if she sensed the fear. The door opened. Two officers stepped inside, followed by men in dark suits. Behind them came Victor Hale himself, taller than Liam imagined, his face pale with sleepless nights. His eyes scanned the room until they landed on the red cloth in Liam's arms. He stopped breathing. "My daughter," the room held its breath. Liam's mother tried to rise but coughed instead. Liam stood still, clutching the baby tighter. "She's mine," he whispered, though his voice broke. Victor stepped closer. His gaze softened as he saw how the child nestled against Liam's chest. Peaceful, safe, he lowered his voice. "You kept her alive." Liam looked up, defiance and fear tangled in his eyes. "She needed me." Nobody else was there for a long moment. The world seemed to hold only the two of them, the billionaire and the boy who had nothing. Then Victor reached into his pocket. pulling out a photo of the baby wrapped in the same red cloth. His hands trembled. "She is my daughter, but I see she has become yours too." The officers waited for his command. Instead, Victor knelt before Liam, his voice quiet. "Thank you." Liam blinked, confused. Victor extended his arms. Slowly, reluctantly, Liam placed the baby into them. She stirred, then smiled faintly as if recognizing her father's warmth. Victor's eyes filled. He held her close, pressing his cheek to her tiny head. The room was silent except for his trembling breath. Then he looked at Liam again. "No child should carry what you've carried. You saved her life. Now let me save yours." Liam frowned, not understanding. Victor stood, holding the baby in one arm, and placed his other hand on Liam's shoulder. "Come with us."
You and your mother.
"You don't belong in these streets." Liam's lips parted, but no words came. He looked at his mother, whose tired eyes brimmed with tears of relief. She nodded slowly. That night, for the first time, Liam did not sleep on a cold shelter bed. He lay in a warm room, the baby's gentle breathing filling the silence. He had found her. But in truth, she had found him too, and in saving her, his own life had been changed forever.